Danny. So I just want to talk about things that may be blocking your abundance. Now, I would hesitate to frame this with, a negative idea, something blocking or impeding abundance coming in. But I think that as a masculinized society, we're always focused on what we can do more. Let's optimize ourselves more. Let's seize more opportunities. Let's make more use of our time. And that is all about outward action, trying to reach and get something and conquer something and have more, do more, be more. But a lot of the time, I think that abundance, whatever prosperity means to you, whether it's financial, in your love life, in your work life, just in your general lifestyle, the life that you desire, whatever that prosperity means, a lot of the time we're not drawing it into our lives is because we haven't made space for it in some way. So I think that when the space is cleared, things that are meant for us will naturally come through to us. And if there feels like a blockage in terms of the things that you want and you most value not being part of your life, then let's look at what might currently be blocking that magnetism from coming through for you. So some of these blockages may seem simple, but if you look at a time when you're feeling stuck and what you want is feeling out of reach, I'm sure that you can find that at least one of these factors is playing out in your life. So let's look at what they all are. So the first blockage for abundance and manifestation is having a lack of clarity. Now, this can be a lack of clarity about what you want, and that's in the realm of, manifestation lists and clarifying what it is that you're trying to achieve, whether that's goals or intentions or a vision for yourself. And another way the lack of clarity can manifest is lack of being honest with yourself about where your life is at right now, having acceptance and understanding of what is actually happening in the present as it simply exists in this moment. So I'm going to give you a financial example. If you're trying to manifest more money, how clear are you already being with your finances as they exist right now? One way to get clear is to have a Google spreadsheet or Excel or whatever, where you're manually bookkeeping and understanding what money is coming in and what money is going out. How much surplus do you have? How behind are you? Is there, a negative number? Are you going more into debt? Do you suddenly realize that you do not have the same amount of surplus that you would need in order to achieve the things you would want, like a trip or more time away with your family or whatever it is that you're trying to create as an experience in your life? That understanding of your current finances, your cash flow, is going to be intimately connected with whatever financial reality you're trying to manifest. Until you are clear with what's happening as it exists, then you're not even going to have a sense of what you're missing, what you really need, how you hope that your reality could change. And this is a magical kind of tool, because when we're actually clear about what's happening, oftentimes we can attract the things that we want in a very fluid way without even having to figure out the how it's going to happen. So in my case as an entrepreneur, sometimes my expenses, they come really tight, they come close to the line. I have great weeks of sales, I have slow weeks of sales. One thing I have noticed consistently is that when I do my bookkeeping and I look at how much am I earning, how much am I spending, and I can look at, okay, I have a little extra here, I'm a little short here, and I get clear numbers like, I would like to make this by the end of the month to meet this target, or I would make a little bit extra to put money in this direction. As soon as I come up with realistic, specific numbers, then sales will kind of effortlessly come in to fill that vacuum. So it's as though my clarity in itself will manifest what I'm looking for, as though the universe is like, thank you, all you had to do is ask. If you don't tell me, how can I help you? The second blockage to manifesting your abundance is, where are you not being honest with yourself? Now, sometimes we can be triggered by what we observe in other people and we think, gosh, I really would love what they have. And we focus on manifesting something that is based on a comparison with the way someone else is manifesting their abundance, their version of abundance. So we think that we're missing something. We think we're falling short of what they've achieved. Now the question is, what is it about what they have that we really want? So, let's say you see someone who's at the top of their game and, they're going to fashion shows and they're a big hit in the fashion world. And you think, gosh, that would be so nice. I want to be invited to sit in the front row of fashion shows. This is just the first thing that comes to mind. Do you really want that reality? Do you really want to be flying from city to city, to have, many shows in one day, to be dressed to the nines and be photographed and do all the networking and schmoozing? Maybe you do, but if you were to actually be walked through the reality, is that something that you inherently crave? What if there's something else in there that's more fundamental, but that's not really tied to the specifics of being in fashion? Let's say you want to feel like you're at the top of your field. You want to feel like you're surrounded by peers in your profession. You would like the feeling of traveling for work and, seeing the creativity expressed by the peers in your industry. That feeling of belonging and immersion in your industry of choice might be the thing that is triggering that desire in you when you see it in somebody else. So if you're not manifesting something, question, is what I have, intended to attract, maybe it's on a manifestation list or on a vision board, or you're just holding that vision for yourself, is what I'm trying to attract something that's really genuine and sincere to me? Is it something I really want? Or is there something that I would actually prefer that would be more authentic for me as an individual, that is kind of getting tangled up in that, and they're not quite the same thing? So how can you tell the difference between something that you sincerely want and something that you think you want because somebody else has it and it's sort of triggering an envy or admiration response in you? Well, I like to look at this in a certain structure that I've created, and it's in my blog post called Plan C, so you can check that out on my website, tourdesoul.org. And in the writing tab, you'll find all my blogs, and you look at the one that's called Plan C. So what I say is, when you have indecision, imagine that you have different options and all of them are possible for you. So one of them is, like you get invited to all the fashion shows. Okay, maybe you don't even work in fashion, but that's what triggered the response. I want what they have. I want to be invited to the fashion shows. Okay, what if you work in a field like mine? Let's say you're in wellness. And what if that version for me of being, recognized and immersed with my peers would be being invited to the top podcasts in wellness, like Oprah's Super Soul Sundays, or, Lacy's To Be Magnetic podcast, or whatever it is, I have that as an equal option as going to the fashion shows. Okay, we have that. And then what if the third option is something else specific to me, like, getting offered a book deal for my blog writing and being able to do a book tour for that, and then being able to travel to different cities and being invited to events with like-minded people, etc., as I was using in the previous example. If all three of those were possible and were guaranteed success, which one would I want? And that will help you decide what is really genuine and authentic to you. Look at a couple of case scenarios, assume that they're going to be a given, each of them are possible, each of them are going to be a guaranteed success, then which one would you choose? And that is the authentic one to you. The third abundance blocker is disorder, clutter, disorganization. Basically, I think there's this obsession with minimalism for a very specific reason. There's this kind of unconscious understanding that abundance and manifesting the life that you want and self-optimization has to do with removing the junk And I don't mean junk in terms of things that are bad. I just mean it in terms of things that detract you from your primary focus of where you're trying to go. So if you are working from home, as so many people in the pandemic have been, or even if you are in an office, if you have an environment that is filled with unfinished business, maybe it's an area that has been neglected. And I actually want to refer to an Instagram story that I saw from Jamie Moore. She's Jamie Jessica on Instagram. I'll give a shout out to her. She did a story today where she said that there's these areas of our life that we tolerate and we don't deal with them, and they cause like a recurring irritation. And even though they're not such a big inconvenience that they throw our entire lives off kilter, they're enough of an irritant that they're constantly sucking and leaking away a little bit of energy from our focus. So Jamie used the example of a garbage area that she had where there was like recycling and compost, and there was too much stuff piled together that when she wanted to throw something in the garbage, she had to reach over it in a very cumbersome way to get there. And that was something that she was just tolerating. And it didn't take her very long to reorganize that waste disposal strategy in her house so that she no longer had to reach over in this irritating way. You'd be surprised how quickly I have manifested abundance in my life when I have simply removed these kind of eyesores from my environment. Things that, like for me today, I cleaned this white couch. It had gotten a little dirty. I have a dog and it was fine. But it's little indications that are signaling to your unconscious, well, you're not really worth an environment that's inspiring and fresh to you. Well, you don't really have time to take care of yourself and where, you're spending your time. That is a poverty mindset. That is a scarcity mindset. And if we are not prioritizing the order in our environment, which reflects back our inner order, then we are signaling we are not enough. We don't have enough time. We don't have enough place for the life that we want. It's only when we're going to have more that we can properly take care of ourselves. And if you are waiting till you have more to take care of yourself, I hate to break it to you, but when you have more, you probably will still not think you have enough time, energy, and resources to care for yourself. So do what you would do if you had more now. Take care of yourself the way you would if you had the time, you had the energy, and you had the money, and then you're more likely to attract that abundance into your life. Unconscious fear. This is another thing that's blocking your abundance. And this might sound like something that's sort of hard to tackle. How do I deal with an unconscious fear? It's hidden, it's kind of subversive, it's sabotaging me from behind the scenes, and I'm not even aware of it. I do believe that we can address this, and I'm going to give you a tool at the end that will deal with all of these different areas that I've mentioned through automatic writing and journaling. But I had an experience the other day where I was doing my morning ritual, something you're going to hear me talking a lot about. And when I was working through my alignment ritual, it came to me that it was worth it for me to take the time to work through any unconscious fear that might be existing within me before I try to accomplish more. So rather than trying to manifest abundance by just producing more and putting in more effort, how could I address the fear that was underneath that I don't have enough time, that I'm not enough, that, I can't get on top of certain things, that, I have to work hard and suffer and strive to get results. I dealt with that underlying scarcity fear. And I did that by leaning gently towards my desires. And I'm talking about wholesome desires. I'm not talking about, escaping through eating a pint of Haagen-Dazs or calling an ex. I'm talking about things that, wouldn't it be nice? And for me that day, my wouldn't it be nice was going to the market and buying some fruit and fresh vegetables and taking my time to do that and doing some things around my home. And in the end, I had less time that I worked, but the hours that I worked were way more productive. I manifested way more sales with my clients because I was in a place, and this is especially true for wellness entrepreneurs, of course, but when you are walking the talk of what you're helping guide people towards, which is a lifestyle of integrity and of joy and of wholeness, when you're living that and embodying that, then you are going to be an example for other people, and people will want to come to you for your services, for your advice, for your products, whatever it is that you're selling. And I don't mean selling just literally, I mean that the opportunities that you want will find you because you're in alignment with that energy. So my point here is, if you're operating out of fear, like I just have to push harder to get what I want, sometimes it's better just to sort out your energy and figure out what you need to do to feel good, to feel whole, to feel strong in yourself, and find that way back to a place of calm and centeredness, which we're going to talk about more in the same section. And once you've dealt with the feeling of fear and your nervous system is calm and grounded, then the abundance can come find you in that place. Because when you feel like you're lacking and you're missing something and it's never going to be enough, then that is the reality that you're attracting. So the next blocker to abundance is a lack of stillness, quiet, calm. So if you're not accessing your intuition, and Lacy Phillips in the To Be Magnetic Manifestation Program, she calls this pings. You know, when we get a ping, it's an intuitive hit or a download, however you want to call it, that is drawing you towards an opportunity that is presumably a vehicle for the thing that you want, that you're manifesting into your life. So if you don't have calm, quiet, stillness within you, within your day, within your routine, how can you even hear those intuitive hits that are pulling you towards what you want? It's like you're sending out an invitation to the universe and you cannot receive the reply because there's no space. You know, imagine you have a plate and you're at a buffet and you fill up the plate with food, and there's no dessert plates in this world, okay? You fill up the plate with food, but you also would have liked a dessert. But there's just literally no room on your plate. If you hadn't taken something off, you could not have put the dessert on there. It's the same thing with manifestation. If your mind and your energy and your soul are filled with busyness and stimulation and distraction and to-do lists and listening to a podcast while walking and listening to the radio while cooking, and there's just no room for your intuition to filter through. So you might be missing key moments, key invitations, key responses from the universe where the possible, the desirable, the thing that you can dream into existence is waiting to be delivered into your life, but there's just no space. So make space by meditation and also just by doing one thing at a time. Like if you're gonna fold laundry, just fold laundry and do it quietly and focus on each movement, because that is a simple task like walking your dog or cooking that if you give all your attention to it mindfully, there's still room for intuitive flashes to come through because you're not overstimulated and multitasking. And the last abundance blocker is a disconnection from your heart. This one I thought I could get away with for a long time. I'm not a very emotional person and I'm very sensitive, but I don't show very strong displays of emotion or dramatics. And I felt that I could be, spiritually connected and connected to my intuition without having to go too much into my feelings. And what I've realized, and someone fantastic, Melissa, I'll link her below, which she showed me once, is that the degree to which your heart chakra is open is very much connected to your ability to cultivate abundance into your life. Now, sure, if you're someone who's cutthroat and strategic and you just want to climb the corporate ladder and you don't give a shit about anybody, you might be able to make money. But that's not the abundance I'm talking about. I'm talking about an ability to actually enjoy what you have and find pleasure and find beauty and find harmony within that abundance. So let's understand abundance in the true sense of the term I'm talking about. So when you're disconnected from your feelings, even if you have certain things in your life, you won't even be able to enjoy them or to let them in. When your heart is open, you are at risk of feeling more pain, but you are also able to feel more pleasure, to feel more joy. And what happens is when your hands are open and your heart is open, you are able to receive. And guess what? In order to manifest abundance, you need to be able to be in a receiving mode. A closed fist cannot take anything else in. It's like that plate that's too full that I was talking about. So how do you do this? Well, you just look at feelings as they come up, and instead of shying away from them and panicking and trying to shut the door every time there's an emotion or vulnerability that pops up, just feel it, just allow it to be. Just see what wisdom is there to unfold for you, because it's in resisting the feeling that we suffer. By allowing it, by accepting it, by embracing it, by being curious about it and letting it become, it will transform into something else momentarily. Emotions don't actually stick around for that long. They follow us for years when we repress them and try to control them or try to fix them and solve them. When we let them be, the natural becoming of life will just allow them to go into a flux state and become another feeling. And that's how you see a kid that's happy, scared, sad, all within a couple of moments, just like animals. And that is our natural state. So the more you allow your feelings to come and flow through you, the sooner that you will be able to allow other things to flow into your life, like the things that you desire and are trying to manifest. So for this next part, I want you to get a pen and paper, and please just write whatever it is that comes to your mind. After I'm finished asking a question, and I will have a white slide where the question will appear, you can pause it on the white slide, write your answer, stream of consciousness, automatic writing, and then press play, get the new question, pause, and so on. Where am I allowing disorder or disorganization to block abundance in my life? Write the first things that come to your mind. Where is disconnection from my heart and feelings blocking abundance energy in my life? Where is a lack of clarity around my intentions, goals, or desires blocking abundance for me? Where am I not being honest with myself? How can I be more honest with myself to be in alignment with what I really desire? Where can I create more calm, quiet, and stillness in my life so that I can truly hear my intuition? Based on your answers above, what are 1 to 3 action steps that you can take today and this week to make more space for abundance to come into your life? Thank you again for tuning in. Please subscribe. As always, it's the best way to show support for this channel and the content I will be giving you every week. And please feel free to comment below any insights that you might have had and share this with your friends. And I look forward to seeing you tomorrow.